Hello, everybody. Nobody's here with us yet. We're hoping that a few of you will take the opportunity to be super loud. We're just checking to make sure that everything is popping up appropriately on YouTube before we get started so that you guys can all join us. And then we're going to close the pantry so we don't have that light in the back behind us. And there we are. We've confirmed we're on YouTube, so that's great. And Papa Jim is going to join me. And we're just going to spend the evening with you for a little bit here because we wanted to tell you about our very first long vacation we took in our brand new car this last weekend, which was the last weekend in December and for the year.
Pre-New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve.
Yeah. So.
And the first 30 minutes of New Year's.
Yeah, because we didn't make it home until after midnight. So New Year's Eve was spent driving home and then into the morning hours. We got home about 12:30 in the morning. In the wee morning hours.
You get my age, that's wee morning.
Yeah, it was way past our bedtime. We were like sipping the coffee all the way home. So let us share with you what we did. And you might want to know what the title of this is referring to or how we're going to reference that. So for many of you who follow us on Facebook or maybe also here on YouTube, or if you're new, welcome. But for Christmas this year, this man right here called me down to a dealership and said, hey, come check this out. I've got something for you. Hi, Hugo Homestead. And so he got us a new car for Christmas. So for Christmas, we didn't put anything under the tree this year because our gift this year to each other was more road trips. So we decided that we were just going to do some really fun road trips because when you gift somebody a gift, and I'm not knocking gifts, but how many times does it happen? You get a gift and it kind of gets shoved away and maybe you'll use it, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll re-gift it. Or maybe you've really put a lot of heart into something and given it to somebody and then you find out they re-gifted it or they sold it. Happy New Year. What we decided to do is we're going to have experiences so that we can share time together. So what we did, now we've got a few things. I don't think we've brought them into the house, but the one thing we did have under the Christmas tree is I did get a boxed set of cards for the state of Minnesota. Now we don't live in Minnesota, but we live close enough that we can get there for nice trips. And so they are cards where you scratch off the surface after you pick one, and then it gives you an adventure to go on. We also have an adventure book for the state of Minnesota for the parks and an adventure book for the state of Iowa. But we didn't rely on those this trip.
Well, yeah, because why? How come we didn't rely on them?
Because we did a spinny wheel thing. You guys know we love our spinny wheels. We love our spinny wheels. We used to do the spinny wheels when we planned our last trip, and we would spend how much money we would put in a piñata.
We got to get to the beginning. How did the spinning wheel come effect?
How did it come in? How did the spinning wheel come into effect?
Yeah.
From the very, very, very beginning? Well, I use it to do chores around the house.
Bam!
I don't know about you guys. I'm going to use the word neurodivergent because I know that's kind of the hot word these days. I have like adult attention deficit disorder, and I can't just do things in a routine. If I don't know what to do, I will spin this spinny wheel. It's like, okay, go clean the bathroom for 10 minutes and then go clean the living room for 10 minutes. That's what I do. So I started this spinning wheel thing. Well, then we did it for the money to stuff our piñata, our big cupcake piñata. And I'm still way behind on editing the videos for that trip. But we decided for our trip this weekend, you got an engagement ring.
What?
That is special.
Congratulations.
What we did is we installed the spinning wheel on our phone again, and we put north, south, east, west, northwest, north, south, whatever, or southeast, whatever.
Up, down.
All the different directions. And we just spun it. We actually loaded up the car with the minimal supplies.
Not knowing
what we were going to do.
If it was going to be an hour trip, if it was going to be a day trip, if it was going to be an overnight trip. We had no idea.
Hey, Brampton Gardner. So welcome in. What we did is we spun that wheel and we decided to head east, northeast. No plans, no reservations, no idea where we were going to be going. So we just got in the car and we left. Now, based on this trip, I'm going to be putting some things in the car to plan for future trips because
it's a learning experience.
It's a learning experience. It's all fun. And we did
a toothbrush.
A toothbrush would have been nice. And we need to do something about having our CPAP machines because I did not sleep well. But that's another story. Anyways, we ended up driving and driving and driving.
So our destination was east, right?
East, northeast. There's nothing straight shot from where we are.
Right.
And our GPS.
We actually started off in east. And then as we're talking, we're saying, well, there's other directions besides just plain east. And so Country Mama added the other 45 degrees in the wheel, and we did that one, and it took us north.
Well, I think we kind of did that too because we drove east and we were getting hungry. And so we were in the little town of Waverly, and it's like, we'll just find a place to eat in Waverly. Well, as we're driving looking for a place to eat, there was nothing. That's the thing about these road trips is we can get Subway anywhere. We can get Hardee's anywhere. We like to get the little greasy spoons. We like to get the little family
diners,
restaurants and diners.
The little off, mom and pops. That's what I like.
Yeah, we love those experiences. So we drove, and as we're driving through Waverly, it took this big curve, and then it took us north. And it's like, now we're heading north. And so we took the next exit, and it kind of took us back east and then northeast. We were just zigzagging all over the place.
Yeah.
We were everywhere. But, before we got to that point, we did stop off, and I'm going to be doing little travel vlog videos of all of these little experiences, but we just wanted to get together with you guys because we had an important topic to talk about that we really can't put in the videos. And that's to share our personal experience about our time there in Kenosha.
Our final destination.
But we drove and we found Iowa's littlest church, and we got to meet the lady that caretakes this tiny little church. There's only enough room for sitting 4 people inside. Tiny little church. 3 couples have been married in that little church, and it's just really cute. It had a little neat history, and we drove on and on. We drove for over an hour looking for something to eat, and we finally ended up in a town called West Union. And we're driving, and that's where I'm saying, like, there was a Subway, there was a Hardee's, there was always a Casey's,
right.
But we got to the very end. We're like, we're running out. We're starting to get hungry.
And there Papa Jim gets hungry.
He gets hangry. Dexter won't stop barking to go out. He misses the doggy door, but it's too cold. It was a little cold.
Yeah, it's cold here right now.
So, you got Legos. That's fun. Don't step on them.
Yeah. And that's something I found out too. Legos of yesteryear and today are different.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, the Legos. Yeah, the Legos now. I mean, they've got. I remember as a kid, Legos being just like, I don't even know if they were even kits to build things or just get Legos, and they would use your mind to. Oh,
now somebody uses their mind to do all the kits, and they make big money.
Big money. And these kits are just massive. One of my old coworkers, he was saving up to get the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
It was $1,000 for the Titanic, but he wanted it.
$1,000 for Legos.
It was huge, and it came in, and you could actually open it up in 3 sections, and actually could see the boiler, the engine room, and stuff. It was just amazing.
Oh wow! Well, anyways, we drove and then there was this bright blue building to the left of the road, and it was a Mexican restaurant. And we said, "That's it. We're just going to pull into this little Mexican restaurant and have lunch." And we tried new things. Papa Jim tried. I'm going to mess the word up. Moleteca, I think it is the big stone bowl, like what they grind corn in to make cornmeal. We've got them, but they're plastic. This is plastic. Right. We do have a stone one in the pantry.
But it was actually stone. And you know how you get a fajita skillet? This stone was in some type of an extreme oven because it was hot, just like a skillet.
It was bubbling. Anyways, it had everything but the Mexican kitchen sink in it. It had shrimp, carnitas. Now he's going to go off into my pantry and try to look for it. You're not going to find it, I don't think. You come back out here. This is my January challenge is to clean up my pantry and get it organized. Stop.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so we had a really nice lunch. I tried guacacaca or yucky moly for the very first time.
And why did you try it?
Because Papa Jim was going to order something he would normally order all the time. And I said, this is an experience. This is something new. Order something you've never ordered before. So get that big bowl. It was like $32.
No, it was not $32.
It wasn't?
No, it was like $26, which was
huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And it was,
it had everything.
It had
chorizo, beef, chicken, shrimp, carnitas, cactus, chilies.
It was just amazing. It had a chili rando on top or whatever. It was just, and I wasn't too sure because I thought, God, is this just proteins and vegetables and stuff like that? Until you got to the sauce.
The sauce, he said it was the best sauce he's ever had.
OMG.
So I convinced him, try something new, and he didn't regret it. And then he got some fresh made guacamole and he said, try it. And I'm like, oh no. He goes, we're on an adventure.
You said try new things.
Try new things. So I tried some on a chip. It didn't kill me. It wasn't bad.
Okay. When we talk about chip, we talk about the size of
like my pinky nail. It was a little chip and it broke, and then he scooped some on there.
But you did try it.
I did try it. I'm going to put it in the category of lobster. I don't like seafood. I don't know what the big deal is about lobster. Bremtigar, you say you keep breaking up. Are we breaking up on our end, or are we doing okay? We're trying to look on the TV in there. Well, I want to make sure our internet signal is okay. Let us know if you can see us okay. So I tried it. I tried lobster one time. He told me. You know what he told me? If you love me, you'll try it.
She did it.
I did it. Did I like it?
No.
Did I vomit?
No.
But I ate it.
She ate it.
Will I eat it again?
No.
No.
Will you eat guacamole again?
Probably not. No. But we had a really nice lunch.
But it was good. It was really good.
We want to thank Antonio, who was our server.
Who was the
owner's son.
The owner's son. Absolutely the best young man. Very respectful.
So nice. Personable. Spent time speaking with us. He gave us some restaurant suggestions as we go east. All of them were his family members. It was the funniest thing. This is my uncle's restaurant. This is my cousin's restaurant. It was so funny. But family was important. So we really enjoyed spending time speaking with him. I tried a new drink too.
Yeah.
Agua de jicama. It's water. It's hibiscus tea.
Cold.
It was really good. Cold hibiscus tea. I really liked it.
And I had
horchata.
Yeah.
So we drove and we drove and we drove and we drove. We drove into the night with our GPS taking us on the strangest route. Oh, that's it. That's true. That's true. Antonio gave us Mexican candy. And so I saw this packet in the candy case, and he kept saying, "Oh, you have to have some Carlos Cinco," and I'm like, "What?" And then I saw this, and I realized that it's not a V. We thought it was Carlos V, but Carlos Cinco, and so it's chocolate. Yeah. So we're gonna try our Carlos Cinco. Yeah. All right. We're gonna just try it. I'm gonna just take a little bit of piece of my Carlos Cinco. You take a little piece of the Carlos Cinco. It's just chocolate. There's nothing in it. It's chocolate. It's not even like the cinnamony chocolate, like Mexican cocoa. It's not even like that. And then, will you get one of those little spoons? There's this Duvalin. I don't know what it is.
Now you got something smaller than that.
I know. I think it's the perfect size. Oh, stir sticks. I don't know how to open this. Yeah. Look at this candy. It's a Mexican candy called Duvalin.
Now, what does that mean? 3 what?
3 servings. 3 celos? I don't know. He gave us another one that just has the 3 flavors here. So chocolate, strawberry, or cherry, and vanilla. And then that one looks like it has caramel. So we're not going to open both because they're kind of a repeat. I know I can't seem to find out where you open it.
Well, I'm sure. So this is like for kids?
It's childproof. It's actually, a kid can open it, but an adult's going to struggle every time.
I got it.
You got it?
You got to get on the edge.
Papa Jim wanted one of those suckers that are covered in a chili. But 3 servings, haha, probably 3 flavors. But it has 4 flavors in it.
4 flavors.
That's why it doesn't make sense. It's got 4 flavors. This one has three flavors. This one doesn't have that 3 whatever on the front.
It doesn't say 3 amigos.
It doesn't say 3 amigos.
I've got it.
I'm telling you, it is adult proof. The chocolate was good. The chocolate was good.
It's actually diet.
Diet?
Because you can't get into it.
That's what it is. I'm about ready to get a knife and poke it. Out comes the pocket knife. Papa Jim's going to poke into it. We're going to try it, and we're going to move on with our story.
So, can I tell a little story?
You want to tell a little story
I want to tell a little story.
while you've got extra pocket knife?
As one grows in their adulthood and get older, you get to an age and you realize you're turning into your parents. Yeah. And so I used to think it was the funniest thing when we were dating and stuff, that Alicia's father, Dad, used to carry around a Swiss Army knife, a little one called the Tinker. Everywhere. Had a toothpick, little tweezers in it and stuff like that. Well, one day I was doing something. I thought, you know what? I could get the universal Leatherman style pliers and stuff like that. And I thought, but that's bulky and stuff. Then it hit me. Oh my gosh. And so I went and got me a little Tinker Swiss Army knife. And it's got all the things, and it's got a toothpick, which I use all the time. A little pair of tweezers.
Don't do what my dad used to do. Please tell me you don't do what my dad used to do.
What?
My dad used to use the toothpick to pick at his teeth. Then he would have the tweezers, and then he would pull the nose hairs out of his nose. I
haven't done that yet.
Don't do that.
But anyway, so, and I use this more than I think than any pocket knife I've had, because it has just so many different attachments to it. Anyway. So that's my story.
Every night he comes home after we have dinner, and he cuts up an apple with it.
And another thing too, I don't know if it's because it's a Swiss Army knife or whatever like that, but I've had this now for probably almost a year. I have not sharpened it, and it is still razor sharp. And I cut everything with it. So it ain't like my cheapy knives, even my expensive knives.
Here comes our 4 flavors of we don't know what, but this Mexican candy, we're going to eat it with a stir stick for our coffees.
What is that? Is that the waxes and stuff on it?
I don't know. You guys tell us. I don't know. Is it because it has fat in it? Look at it. What is that? What are those white spots?
What does it feel like?
I mean, it's not.
How does it smell?
It smells fine. It doesn't look like mold. I think it's
It's just the fats or whatever that.
Yeah, I think it's like a
lard.
Oh God, but don't be lard. Okay, it's like frosting.
It's probably frosting.
It's like a little frosting candy.
It's probably the sugars.
I'm going back in for seconds. That was the strawberry. Get your thing in here. And caramel for me. All right, get in there. Dip in there.
What's the white?
I imagine it's vanilla. Ooh, wouldn't it be nice if it was coconut? Vanilla. Okay, basically, it's like little flavored frostings. I could see why the kids would like it. So let's hold it up for people who are just joining in. We're up to 6.
Sure.
If you're here, make sure you click the like button.
It is actually frostings.
It's like little frostings.
What is sabor? Sabor?
3 sabors. Maybe it's
3 sabor.
Flavors. I don't know.
And what is this one? Oh, you took
the labels off. Anyways, okay. Enough of our Mexican candy. So we drove. Let's get to the meat of the matter here. We drove and drove and drove with our GPS system taking us down little dirt roads. We didn't know if we were going to end up in a town somewhere. We started hearing banjos like Deliverance. We didn't know what was going on. It can't just be a straight shot. For some reason, our GPS just takes us in all of these weird directions. But we ended up in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's as far as we could go. After that is the Great Lake of Lake Michigan. Nowhere more to go. So we're driving in Kenosha, and we understand while we're driving there the significance of the events that happened in August of 2020. Now, we won't go into the detail of that. If you don't know what that is, you're able to look that up. But it was a very sad, dark event and moment for our nation and for this community.
And for that community.
And we realized we were in a historical place, and not a good historical place. And as we're driving, it's like, oh my gosh, here's the park, and here's the courthouse, and here's the car lot, and here's that street. And we started putting the pieces of the puzzle together of what happened on that.
With so much TV footage, I was almost, in my head, I could almost see certain events. And
Yeah.
It was kind of...
It made us a little uneasy because we don't know what the political temperature or climate is there now. So we drove around a little bit on pins and needles, not knowing. And we decided to just go ahead and find a hotel and stay. There's no way we were going to make it back home that night. We had driven about 300 and some miles.
Now, who would be 300 miles away from home?
With no toothbrush?
And no reservations, nothing.
Yeah, no reservations, no plans. Let's just find a hotel. We found a hotel on the water with a room facing the water, and we booked it, and it was really nice. It was really, really nice. I should have used, vanilla wafers. That would have been good with that little frosting thing. I don't have any vanilla wafers right here, but that would have been good. My parents always traveled. That's how they always traveled. And, I have a really dear friend who comes up to stay with us every once in a while. And she says she can't do that. And I think she did try it one time. We encouraged her to be spontaneous like that. And they could get no hotel room for miles and miles and miles. And that was in Southern California, down in San Diego. But anyways, we got this great room, got it for a decent price. We didn't have our CPAP machine, so I did not sleep well. And I had the best intentions of waking up in the morning and getting the sunrise and how beautiful Lake Michigan would be. And it was snowing, and you really couldn't see very far out. So we had a breakfast there. There was the coolest thing at that hotel. They had the continental breakfast and the little breakfast bar set up like some of the hotels do. They had how some of them have the batter and you can make your own waffles? This one had a pancake maker. It was the coolest thing.
Fully automated. You didn't put nothing in it.
Yeah, all you do is push a button, and it has a conveyor belt, and you watch the batter pour onto the conveyor belt, and then it rolls across like something out of Edward Scissorhands, and it cooks.
Does it flip it too?
No, it's got another roller that comes down. So as it's going through the roller, it's cooking on both sides, and then it just plops out onto your plate. It makes 3 pancakes at a time. Got to have one for the farm. It was the funniest thing. So Rochelle says, we drove 3 hours looking for a hotel in Georgia once. There was a huge event in Atlanta.
Yeah. And that's, I'm guessing that if we did this in the summertime,
we'd be in trouble.
We would have been in trouble, because we're talking to locals and stuff like that. It's a pretty happening place.
The place is popping in the summertime.
Popping in the summer.
Instant potatoes, yes. It was so fun. I made them just so I could watch them. And I got a video of it. I'm sorry, pancakes. Anyways, one thing we did do before we got to Wisconsin is we did stop off at Casey's, and we bought lotto tickets, scratchers. We're going to do that every trip and see if we can at least get a little bit of luck there with the scratchers. We're not doing that here tonight. So let's get to the meat of the matter of why we wanted to come on here and share with you. This event that happened in August of 2020, a lot of us saw it on the news. It was a heartbreaking event.
And that's not why we went.
That's not why
we just
ended up there.
We just ended up there.
We ended up there, and we were leery about the fact that we did end up there.
Yeah. I got to admit, when I first rolled into town and be at nighttime and realizing the name of the town we're ending up in, because of course, if you keep on going any more east,
there's nowhere to go east because we would go in the water.
You go in the water, Lake Michigan. So
we were in Kenosha.
Anymore. So it was Kenosha. So I was a little on edge. I got to admit, Country Mama, she took over the driving, and so she's the one who rolled into town, and I'm like a dog looking this out the window because I'm looking.
We did have a truck follow us for a while, and he was very nervous because, you know, we could probably be picked up as a tourist like that, and people follow you. But I gotta say, we had the opportunity while we were there to speak with people who have lived there their entire lives. And they're still traumatized. They're still healing from that weekend. And I got to tell you, everywhere we went while we were in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and every person we met was the most wonderful, caring, hospitable people that take pride in their city.
They was willing to talk with us.
Yeah, and we wouldn't even really bring it up.
No.
It was almost like it just hung in the air, and they didn't know if they could talk about it. You know how sometimes when they've been through a traumatic experience, like they need to talk it out. We had people that just needed to talk about it, and they needed to say how hurtful it was to have those events happen, and that's not who they are.
Right. And they're in that town. Unfortunately, it will always have that mask of that event or that time period of not what that town offers, because it is an amazing area.
It's beautiful.
The buildings are just, you have to go see it. It's just,
if you're thinking about the possibility of even going to Kenosha, but that is the one thing that's keeping you from going, don't let that stop you. I'm so glad we went there. We met so many nice people, and they're genuine. And we had more than one person say, that is not who we are. What happened here, that was brought in. That is not us.
Right.
And, you know, basically you don't poop where you eat. And that was the sentiment. Yeah. They didn't do that to their own neighborhood. No. This was brought in, and it was done to them, and they're hurting, but they're healing. Nicest people, beautiful architecture. There are beautiful museums to go to now. Unfortunately, we were there on New Year's Eve, so the museums were closed.
Yeah.
We didn't get to do the museums. I wanted to very badly. We did get to see our first lighthouse. We've never seen a lighthouse. We've never seen a Great Lake in person.
In person. Somewhat close and personal.
But we touched one.
Right. But the one the further out one, the weather, there's something about where we live now and going up there that when it gets to in under 20 to 30 degrees here, I can almost run around in a t-shirt unless it's wind's blowing. Up there, I don't know if it's because of the lake, but that it's moist.
It's a different cold.
It's a different cold, and I was cold.
It was a different cold. They have the very first lighthouse that we found. It's beautiful, and it's out on this peninsula. There's this man-made peninsula all the way out. And I said, we're going to walk out there, take our pictures, and we'll walk back. We'll put our coats on, put our mittens on, it'll be fine. But the wind was blowing and it was snowing. And I thought the walk out there is going to be fine. It's the walk back with that wind blowing in our face, and we were not prepared.
It was slightly snowing.
It was snowing, and the flakes got pretty big. So we took our picture with that one from a distance because I was already fighting off a little bit of a chest cold and thought, I'm not going to walk half a mile. It's a quarter mile out and a quarter mile back to this big, beautiful lighthouse. Yeah. But there was this other lighthouse that we went to, and this is the neatest thing. We pulled up to this lighthouse, and I'd already done some research on it the night while we were at the hotel. I couldn't sleep, so I was going online, finding things about the area. And there was this woman in her car when we first got there. And if she's watching, hello, Lisa. She was in her car, and we got out, and she got out of her car and said, would you like for me to take a couple pictures for you so we don't have to do the selfies. And we said, that would be great. We started chit-chatting. It'd be like we were lifelong friends. She said, I was going to leave, but something told me to stay in my car. And I'm so glad I stayed in my car because I got to meet you guys. We spent a lot of time chit-chatting with her. She took some great pictures. She told us about the lighthouse and this house that had been remodeled right there next to it. She showed us pictures inside that lighthouse that are just absolutely
the spiral staircase
amazing. And we didn't get to go in it, but just seeing that picture that she shared with us of the inside of this lighthouse makes me realize we have got to go back and see more.
There's a lot of things of why we want to go back.
There a lot of things, lots of reasons to go back.
We'll get to the part where of the transportation we took that was
because that's kind of coming up next. But we found out, don't anybody get upset, don't panic, but we have been recently diagnosed, both of us, with something. I don't know if you want to call it diagnosed.
No, we're self-diagnosed.
We're self-diagnosed pharologists.
Right.
So do you know what a pharologist is? After our trip to Kenosha, we are self-described pharologists.
Right. Now, and you got it. The spelling is important on that one.
Yeah. It's not that we like to drive far and we're pharologists. It's PHAR, ology or ologist. And that's somebody who is enthused by lighthouses. We are in love with lighthouses now. Swim across the lake to see me. Wrong lake. I don't know. Does Lake Michigan go up to Canada? I thought that was Superior. See, we need to learn about the geography of the lakes.
So that's a whole nother story.
It is a whole nother story, Brampton Gardner.
Because we were just talking about something.
We were. Before we decided to do the spinny wheel, we were going to drive north to Minnesota. And we were like, we're just going to drive the border and see if we can drive across the border. Hello, Grace and Fire. Welcome. Just keep swimming, she says.
Just keep swimming.
So we looked into it. We found some things online that said as long as we have our ID and our birth certificate, we can come over into Canada. But now I saw in 2024, you have to have a passport or the passport card.
And our passport has expired, but it might motivate us to renew it to be able to go over there. And there was maybe a certain person we were talking about.
There is about maybe popping over to Canada and saying hello, because we also want to go to Niagara Falls. So, but when we were done at the lighthouses and getting to spend some time with our new friend, Lisa, which was so wonderful. You know what else? At our first lighthouse, I met a family, and if she's watching, her name is Eliza, and her family, lovely family from Puerto Rico, and they have family here. And she says, I want to buy a little farm. And I told her about how we came across this little farm, which, do you know what today is? Do you know what today is?
January 1st.
January 1st, 2024. Today is our 10-year farm anniversary.
Oh, that's right. This is 10 years. Today we took possession.
We got the keys to this farm 10 years ago today. And we started moving our stuff in 10 years ago today. And what was the temperature?
Not like it is now.
It was a balmy -50 degrees on the day we moved into this farm.
It was cold.
It was freezing cold. You know what? It was so cold that some of the stuff just got dumped in the workshop, and it's still sitting there. I haven't gone through it in 10 years. All of my deviled egg plate collection is still out there somewhere. But after we got done spending time at the lighthouses, they have the one thing that was running and was open on New Year's Eve was the vintage trolleys. And they have refurbished some vintage trolleys from the 40s and the 50s. And we went to the trolley station and we waited for the trolley to show up, and we ran out and we caught a trolley, and we got to take the trolley all the way around the lakefront and through downtown. What are you laughing at? Okay, I know what he's laughing at. Tell your story. Embarrass me now in front of all of our friends. Go ahead.
So when we got to we thought the trolley was going to stop. Wasn't. It's where the buses stop. The trolley actually has spots with a sign that says trolley stop. And if you look at it, the buses can pull over for people to load on it. The trolley is on a track, so it can't. So it has areas that are what do you call it, pushed out so people can step onto the trolley. And so the trolley driver pointed to, saying that he has to stop up there. He can't
I have to stop you for a minute. We were there in plenty of time to catch the trolley. And I said, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go sit in one of those little covered alcoves, where you can stay warm while you're waiting for a bus.
Stay warm.
It was snowing. I know but it would keep the wind and the snow off of us. Anyways, it's like, well, I'm going to go. But he's like, we'll sit in the car. Because we don't know when the trolley's going to show up.
But we had a vantage point where we could see it start coming.
Right. So once we saw it,
she says, I'm out of here.
I booked it. If I would have gone early and just gone and sat, I wouldn't have had to do what he's going to tease me about. But you wouldn't be teasing me. I wouldn't have had to do what I did.
You did, because you've been here and it was down there and he was still moving and he pointed.
What? Tell embarrass me. Tell him.
So as he went down, it was probably 50, 75 yards down that they had to, maybe 50 yards down to where the stop was. And so we're starting to move, and all of a sudden, Country Mama, she starts doing a penguin fast.
It's snowing. The roads could be slippery. The sidewalks were probably slippery, and I had to run.
If you could just imagine a penguin running. She was a penguin running.
He's been laughing about it for 2 days.
Oh, man.
Sometimes he just breaks out in laughter, and he just says, you were running like a penguin.
That is.
I was afraid he was going to leave, because you know how sometimes they're on a schedule, and if you don't get to the door in time, they're out of there, and then you got to wait for the next one. But he was a very nice driver. His name, I think, was either Roy, Ron, or Ray. Was three. Was it Ron?
What, his name?
His name.
Ron.
It started with an R and it was 3 letters. That's what Ron, Roy, or Ray.
Ron. Not Ron.
Not Ron.
Not Ron.
But I ran like a penguin, but our driver was Ron.
Yeah.
So what I think was so funny, and Ron, if you're listening, this is said with love, but if any of you have ever seen Romancing the Stone, and if you haven't, it's a great movie, you need to watch it. But when Michael Douglas and the girl, I can't think of her name. Anyways, they're down in this little village, Kathleen Turner. When they're in this little village down in Cartagena in Colombia, there's this guy that's driving them around. He's giving them the whole tour of this little town. And that's where I was born, and that's where this happened, and that's where this. And so when Ron found out that we were not from the area and we'd never been there before, he goes, I'll give you the tour. And so we're driving, and he says, and here's the famous subway, and here's where they have a good theater, and here's where they have this train, and here's where these houses will cost you an arm and a leg, and thank goodness you've got 2 of them. And this is where I like to eat here because the food is really good. And if you really want a deep dish pizza, you go over here. The whole trip, we did not just like cruise. It was like start, go, stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Because he had to tell us about every little place he'd been, every little place he recommends. And it was endearing. It was so sweet that he took the time. We were the only ones on the trolley. We were the only ones out, I think, to even try to get a trolley the whole day. I didn't see anything. And so he spent a lot of time with us telling us about the next time you come, you need to go here. And the next time you come, you need to go here. And he was just so sweet. And I felt really, really bad. And we're going to catch up with him next time we go out, because I wanted to give him a tip for taking the time to be such an excellent tour guide and spending so much time with us. But we only had the money to get onto the tram.
Because in today's world, everything's on plastic.
And they didn't take anything. And I asked if he had Cash App or anything where I could give him a tip. And he said, nope, he just really enjoyed spending the time with us. So next time we're going to take care of him. But we enjoyed writing. Now, I do have to tell you, I don't know the individual who commented on I put out a little trolley short earlier today on YouTube. And they said, it snows in San Francisco. And it's like, no, it says Kenosha.
Yeah.
But, while we were on that tram ride, the snow had gotten so bad, you couldn't even see Lake Michigan anymore. You could only see like the lighthouse. You couldn't see out into the water. And then it cleared up a little bit later after that.
Yeah, it was very, nostalgic, that car.
It was a step back in time. And while we were speaking with Ron, he said, as we were driving, he said, and here's the park and here's the courthouse. And we knew what he was referring to, that event that happened 3.5 years ago.
He did say that if you watch TV, or he said something that you would know.
Yeah, he goes, if you've been watching, you'd know where you are. And it's like, yeah, we know where we are. And he said he is still healing from that. You could tell when he was talking about it. It's an open wound that's going to take a long time for that community to heal. But they are. And that was one thing I noticed everywhere we drove. We drove in the regular neighborhoods. We drove in the affluent neighborhoods. We drove all over the place. There is a sense of pride. People take care of their stuff. One place we went to, we had to run into a Dollar General for something. It's the cleanest, most organized Dollar General you've ever seen.
It was the cleanest
ever. They take care of their stuff. They're there.
Repeat, most organized,
proud community
Dollar General that I have been in. And I'm talking, you would have not.
How redneck are we?
Believe. If anybody's been in a Dollar General and know, you could appreciate it looking
pristine.
It almost reminded me of like the major drugstores or something like that, how everything was just perfect. And so this thing was, the shelves were stocked perfect. Just,
it doesn't take much to make us happy.
Yeah. But anyway, and I commended, and the manager was standing there, and she said that, that of course she appreciated it, but she came from a couple of other areas and of those Dollar Generals, and they were never kept like this one. So,
but thank you to Ron for taking us around. He was another one who's lived his whole life there, proud of his city, proud of the people that live there, and they don't want to be defined by what happened 3.5 years ago. And he's not the first person that we told them, thank you so much for sharing with us how you feel about your city and what this did to you, because it changed our view on taking a chance on going to some of these other places. I will tell you straight out, I want to go to Chicago to see Hamilton. And we spoke to some people there in Kenosha, and they said, you'll be okay. Every community has places you don't go. Just don't go to those places. But if you go downtown and go to see your play and go to Union Station to catch a train, you're going to be okay. You can go to the pier. You're going to be okay. You'll be fine in Chicago. We want to go. There's all these things we're going to be doing up in Minnesota. We've been kind of scared to go up into Minneapolis in the last few years. But this had made me realize, going to Kenosha, that it's a circumstance. It's not necessarily the people. Things come in. It's not representative of who they are.
But I also
beautiful people.
I also want to say, though, in some of the communities that have had certain concerns, is don't go in there completely blinded either, because we don't know 100%. Like when you're talking about in Minneapolis or whatever, I am still, not that they have to prove it to me, but I want to see for myself before I can let my guard down. Just say
there's nothing wrong with being alert to your surroundings.
But
we're going to try
I have
it again.
learned, I have learned from this trip that what you see on TV, it can be completely different.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
It was a humbling experience.
And for some
to
reason,
be there.
My own personal, when I saw the footage on TV, and yeah, it was at its worst, but I thought it was like I don't know if the word depressed area.
That's the way they make you feel when you see the stuff on TV.
When you look at it, it's like, and when you drive down and actually see it, it's not that way.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful,
where the events
beautiful
happen,
city.
Isn't like that.
No,
it's not. And the nostalgic buildings, the architecture, some of the homes that were on the lake, they're just.
We were driving down this one drive with the homes on the lake, big, beautiful, massive looking homes. And there was this one huge place and the gate was open. So we pulled into it because it said it was a cultural center. And we found out that it used to be an old boarding school. And as we drove in and drove around, and as we were coming back out, Papa Jim goes, I have to do it. And I'm like, do what? He goes, I have to. He says, it's probably illegal, probably breaking the law, but I have to do it. They had like a portico between these two. It's like a castle. The whole place was like a castle. And they had this arched portico. We don't know if it was a walkway, but Papa Jim drove through
it. No, it was a drive, but I don't know if it was for... It wouldn't be. I don't think it was deliveries. I think it was. No. I don't know if it's how people got in and out or whatever. And it was an arched, covered area. So I guess if there was weather and stuff, you'd be protected. But
it was only a car length deep. Yeah. I mean, but it was funny. And so we drove through it. It was a car length wide, but it was really a car length deep too.
Yeah, you just put your car in there, and people would get out.
Yeah.
Or get in and then go.
But it was a lot of fun. But then.
So I did it.
He drove through it. But we got some really great footage of some beautiful houses. Then we went to, we don't have our hats. Our hats are in the car. Yeah. We went to the Mars. You'll have to watch the video. I'm going to put a video up. We went to a cheese castle because you're in Wisconsin. You have to get cheese, right?
Cheese.
So we went to the cheese castle. And as we're walking into the cheese castle, this little kid comes walking out of the cheese castle, and they have one of those hats like you get at Burger King. I said, I got to have a hat. So it was the first thing we did is we got little paper hats and we put the paper hats on.
The little crowns.
The crowns.
And wore them the whole time we were in the store.
We went through with this big giant cheese castle with these little kid hats on the whole time. No other adult was wearing one. We had a blast. And if you watch one of my earlier videos, we've been on the hunt for a house hippo. And we found a house hippo. Now, it's not going to be the only house hippo we get. And if you don't know what a house hippo is, you need to look it up on YouTube. Just type in house hippo later, not right this second. And so we've been on the hunt for a house hippo, and we found a house hippo. So we captured the house hippo, got him to the car. He tried to escape, and his name is Keno for Kenosha. And he's going to go on some travels with us, just like our little wiener dog, Colonel Mustard, is going to go on our adventures with us from time to time. But we got a house hippo. But we went to the cheese area, this big room with cheese, everywhere cheese. And you can ask for any sample you want. If you see a cheese, you just point to it and you can have it.
I just have to say something. If there's a cheese, and what is it called?
Was it called Devil's Tongue?
Dragon's Breath?
Dragon's Breath.
It's probably going to be hot.
The Dragon's Breath isn't the one that killed me. It was the habanero pineapple cheese.
Well, right, but that one other one was, you only took a bite of the other one too. You didn't finish the other one off.
I took a whole bite
of
the Dragon's Breath. I had a cube of Dragon's Breath. And then the gentleman behind the counter was kind enough to hand me a piece of the habanero pineapple, because there was this one lady, because stupid me, this one lady said, oh, the habanero pineapple sounds good, but it's hot. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I said to the guy, I said, I'd like to try the habanero pineapple. I've heard about it. What was my reaction? I needed water. I was desperately looking for that. No water. There was no water.
There was panic in her eyes. That's how much hot. This thing's going to keep getting hotter. I need water now.
And so I ran looking for water. I found no water. It finally calmed itself down. But they had a cheese there that I was like, I'm curious about this other cheese too. I put a video out for their blueberry cheddar. Mm-hmm. And the video says, would you eat this? And I said, I've got some blueberry cheddar. And somebody said, way to describe it. Is it popcorn or is it cheese? I said, it's blueberry cheddar. If it was blueberry cheddar popcorn, I would have said blueberry cheddar popcorn. It's blueberry cheddar. Anyways, they had chocolate cheese.
Chocolate
cheese. So we got a little cheese
sweet
coochery. This is their sweet cheese coochery. And they have chocolate fudge cheese. So I like that this one actually came in this little cheese wedge. I do like that all the little cheeses are there.
So this is more, I'm guessing, of the sweeter version?
These are the sweeter cheeses. So in these sweet cheeses.
So it's going to be like this, right?
Yeah. We have a lemon Stilton cheese, the chocolate cheese, a maple cheddar. Now see, it's not maple cheddar syrup or maple cheddar popcorn. It's a maple cheddar. Work with me. And a mango ginger. I'm gonna try the mango ginger.
There's mango ginger.
Mango
and then
ginger.
There's apple cinnamon.
And apple cinnamon cheddar. Look at all those beautiful cheeses. I'm gonna try. I want to try.
But we had a sample already of the chocolate.
And it's just like fudge.
It is just like fudge.
So I wish there was more in here.
Did he give us the ones? Which one did he give us?
I don't know. There were 2 types of chocolate cheese. But look.
This is supposed to be one of the walnuts. So this is more like fudge. The other one was more like a chocolate cheesecake.
But this
is a ginger
maple. No,
mango.
Mango. I'll have my readers on. Ooh. It has chunks of mango in it. Which one do you want?
I want to try the.
You want to try the maple?
This is the maple cheddar.
Maple cheddar. So we got this little charcuterie board. Ooh, the ginger's kicking in.
Is it?
Uh-huh. I'm not a huge fan of ginger, but that's pretty good. That's a good flavor combo.
I was more Mary Ann myself.
So we got that one. Then, and it came with all these sauces. I don't know we got another charcuterie board, a cheese charcuterie board.
It was called the.
And I forget what it was called.
I don't know.
It was called, hang on.
Storming the Castle.
Storming the Castle. Got all kinds of stuff in here. Stuff that Mama's not going to eat.
Yeah, she's not going to eat. I don't know what this is.
This is like a cheddar.
Is it a bacon cheddar?
Like a cheese whiz. I don't know what this sauce is. Taste that sauce. But you know how this one here has all of the little tags on it to tell you what's in there? This one is like a big serving platter, like you see, like when you.
And it has stickers on the outside, Aaron.
No.
Yeah, it did.
Does it have stickers to tell you what's what? It doesn't matter if it has stickers to tell you what's what, because by the time we got it in, all right, he's right. By the time we got it in, everything had shifted to one side and it's a mess. But hold it up so they can see the whole charcuterie cheddar. No, it's called cheesecoucherie board.
Right. And it does have stickers on the sides.
Okay, I didn't see the stickers on the sides.
But riding in the car.
I don't know, what is this? What did it taste like?
You taste it.
Was it something I'd like?
It's like a.
There was a general something sauce.
Is
it Asian? I'm choking on a mango.
Just put a little. Is it like a?
It's like a poppy seed. This is like a poppy seed dressing.
So you would like it.
I would probably like it. And then there's this. Oh,
she's so hesitant on trying things.
Stop picking on me. I like this because this is almost like a cranberry compote. And see, I could see having a cranberry compote on a little Ritz cracker with a little piece of cheese that doesn't have bacon in it. I'm going, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So we got all of this stuff, right?
And I don't know what that stuff is.
It looks like honey. It came with all kinds of stuff.
I know it could be something crazy like a
habanero honey, right? And then I would die.
So I had one at work that one of my coworkers brought in.
It's good.
It was ghost pepper honey.
Oh no.
And I took and I went, and you got the sweetness, and all of a sudden the ghost pepper kicked in. My tongue was really on fire for 30 minutes just from a dab.
I'll fax it over. It is stunning, isn't it? I thought it was going to actually be on a charcuterie board. I thought we were getting the cutting board with it. That's extra.
That's pure honey.
Pure honey. And then we got caramelized pecans on our charcuterie board. Yum.
Are they good?
Of course they're good.
Caramelized?
It said caramelized.
It's not like in fish oil or anything?
They're not being fish oil. And then we have caramelized walnuts. With a little block of cheese. And a little bite.
That's really good.
This is dinner. We're eating in front of you. Sorry. And it came with popcorn and crackers.
Look at that piece.
It came with all kinds of stuff. Little baby Swiss. There's a baby Swiss. Little baby Swiss. Very cute. But we ran around that store for like an hour, being silly, trying all the food. Papa Jim got Braunschweiger. He likes it.
Mm-hmm. And this was
And then we got to bust
Braunschweiger
this open. We got to bust this open. We got to show them what we got.
that was made in Milwaukee.
Good cheese. There was a cheese company called Jim's Cheese. Is this Jim's?
No.
No, this is Vern's. We got white cheddar cheese curds that's made right there. And then we got some white cheddar and some yellow cheddar cheese curds. And I got me some Mamma Mia batter. I'm going to be making some deep fried cheese curds. And that's going to be a video coming out.
You're going to do them in the air fryer, shouldn't you?
I'm going to try them in the air fryer and I'm going to try them in a skillet. But if you've never had cheese curds, they're their own experience as well. We have a local European deli that used to have a ton of samples. The big shut that down. And now they only have a few now. Oh, that's so sad. You love a good hot honey. Poutine. I've never tried poutine, but I hear it's good. Cheese curds. If you get good cheese curds.
Who had poutine?
Rochelle. If you have a good cheese curds, they're supposed to squeak when you chew on them. You behave yourself. Rochelle, what have you started? There's a little bit of squeakiness to these. I've had squeakier.
I've had some squeaky Wisconsin
cheese curds. These are not as squeaky, but they're squeaky. We also got a cinnamon raisin bread from their bakery. And we had French toast for breakfast this morning with that. I want a pecan dunked in my raspberry or my cranberry compote.
Good honey.
Good honey. So we got a lot of stuff, and actually the price wasn't bad.
No.
For the size of the charcuterie board and the different flavors, I mean, we probably have popcorn, 2 different kinds of crackers, 6 different sauces and honeys, Ritz crackers, salami, and probably 10 different types of cheese. And we spent, between the 2 boards, we spent $35. $20 and $15. And you get chocolate cheese on top of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
it wasn't that bad. And so we grab that cheese loaf, baby.
And if you spend the hour like we did, they are constantly putting out different cheeses for samples.
Yes. It's like going to Costco when they have all the samples out. We had lunch there, basically. We got this beautiful cheddar loaf. Look at that cheddar loaf. Isn't that pretty? I don't know what we're going to do with it yet. But the raisin loaf we made French toast with this morning. We had it for breakfast. That was really good. I didn't use it all up, but almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, they're not huge loaves, but it was the raisin. What I liked about it, as in a French toast, it wasn't like a sweet raisin bread. It wasn't like so.
Look at the cheese
in
that bread.
You could taste the flavors.
Look at the cheese baked into that bread. That looks so good. We spent, I think, $50, but we came out with so much stuff. It's $55.
Huh?
I think we spent $55
plus this, plus the.
Oh, that's right. We had to pay for the cheese charcuterie boards first before they make them.
They don't make them. You have to buy them first, and then you take the receipt to them. So
I thought we did really good spending $55. We spent $55 plus the charcuterie boards.
But that was also include our house hippo.
It included the house hippo. He had an adoption fee, so we had to do that.
Yeah. And then
you have a bakery that makes cinnamon roll bread.
Oh,
yes, it is so good with French toast. As French toast, you're absolutely right, Grace and Fire.
It's a tough deal because we're watching our diet and exercising and stuff like that. But when you go to places like this, you have to
have the experience. Of it.
And like the cheese bread. I mean, I can just imagine some meals that we could do a piece or 2 of this.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that cheese bread as a cheese sandwich, a grilled cheese sandwich?
I was thinking a grilled cheese sandwich.
And not just any grilled cheese sandwich. You have to have the Monterey Jack, the real cheese, not the processed cheese. And then a slice of provolone. And in between that, you put on a little slather. I've got a video on this for the grown-up grilled cheese. The chive, the green chive and herb cream cheese in between the cheeses. And then when you cook it, you sprinkle Parmesan cheese on the griddle, and so it's encrusted on the outside. It is the best grilled cheese ever.
Can you imagine?
Or a fried egg sandwich, yes.
A spaghetti.
Make it as a garlic bread and have it with a spaghetti.
spaghetti.
And speaking of Italian food, Papa Jim says, okay, we got to get on the road. We got to get out of here. We're wasting daylight hours. I said, we got one more place to go because if you're going to drive 300 miles, you got to try to squeeze in as much as you can. Because Ron, our trolley driver, had told us, you've got to go to this one place for pizza. What's it called? Giordali's or Donnie's. I've got a card somewhere. I can't see it on the box there. Papa Jim's going to grab it. We went to this place that he recommended for pizza. Giordano's in Kenosha.
Is
world famous.
And this is
deep dish.
How people say world famous this, world famous.
Like on Elf when he says the world's best cup of coffee.
Congratulations. No, this literally is not like going to a chain restaurant style. Even though they do have
I think it was family. They have a couple, but this family ran this one.
But it's like I told them, Country Mama is vegetarian. I'm not. So when we had our pie made, they split it in half and did what she wanted on one side, what I wanted on one side. I told them I wanted real Italian sausage.
And it was real Italian sausage.
It was real because I watched them.
I got some footage. We'll put it in our video of them tossing the dough and making the pies.
The pans that thick.
Yes, the pizza. We can get pizza anywhere. We can get pizza in Iowa. But to get an authentic Chicago deep dish pie, I told Papa Jim, we have to get it while we're here.
What's the difference between a Chicago pie and a regular pizza?
This is a Chicago pie.
And?
The New York pie is this thin, and you got to... And what?
Come on.
Tell me.
The sauce is on top.
The sauce is on top.
Pizza, you put the pizza sauce, and then you build it. They build it, and then the pizza sauce goes on top of everything with the cheese.
And their sauce was like real crushed tomatoes
in their stuff.
It wasn't... Now, do they get their crushed tomatoes out of a can? Maybe. But it's not like it was just like pizza sauce. This was crushed tomatoes. It was so good. They have
so much pride in their pizzas that you can physically, they have a glass enclosure for where they prep them. So the customers can actually see them do this.
Yeah. Lots of families in there enjoying time with their family. The price wasn't bad. The price point was really good. And you know what? Our waitress, her name was Jen. So Jen, if you're watching, thank you for spending time. Sauce is on top. She spent a lot of time with us, talking to us, making sure we had everything we needed. How did we like Kenosha? When we come back, we got to go here. We got to go there. She gave us some recommendations. She was yet another person that lives there that wanted to express to us how proud they are of their community. It's not like they're forcing it either. It's not like anybody that comes into town, you got to build the town up, push the veal. Nothing like that. It's genuine. It's from the heart. And you could see the pain in her face when she was talking about her community and what they have suffered and how they are rebuilding. And she was another one that said, please come back and see us. Please know that that's not who we are. That was not Kenosha. That was brought into Kenosha.
And these are people who live their whole lives there.
Yeah.
Rochelle, did you really make one in your iron skillet?
I made one in my cast iron skillet for you. I bet you she did, because I've made pizzas in our cast iron skillet, but not a deep dish with sauce on top. And I make 3-layer apple pies in my cast iron skillet that are to die for.
I'm thinking with that one cast iron skillet that I got from my favorite.
His mind's going.
Tool supplier.
Snap-on.
Yeah. That I can make one.
Now, see, Papa does the wood fire pizzas on a stone, and they are so good. We didn't do it this last summer, but the summer before and before that, we would have parties where the boys and their families would come over, and everybody. I have this entire countertop, this big 8-foot island, just full of toppings, and we make our own dough, and then everybody builds their own pie, and they take it outside, and Grandpa puts it on the barbecue, and he cooks it up on the barbecue. And so we have our own wood fire pizzas, but look at his brain working now, because he wants to make one in a skillet now.
I'm just trying to figure out how I could do this because we don't have a traditional big stove.
No, we don't have a regular oven.
But I do have a huge.
You have a Weber grill. I've got my turkey roaster behind me.
Oh,
You put it in
do?
the turkey roaster. That would
Okay.
work. That would work. She said it was messy to get out.
Oh, that's my favorite.
This pizza was very good. We brought some of it home. We had the leftovers
If you watch
for
the
dinner.
video, you have a short of the cheesy, don't you?
I put a short up on the channel of the cheese.
So when I took the little spatula pizza thing and picked up on it, the cheese. Oh, just dripping goodness.
So much cheese. Now, Papa Jim is lucky that I looked into it because we had the young lady who was the receptionist at the hotel where we stayed. Very nice lady. She told us that, you can just hop on the metro and go on down to Chicago for the day. And we're like, oh, Chicago. She goes, it's safe. You're safe there. Just don't go to those neighborhoods. And she got me thinking, we could probably do that. She goes, it's $8.
It's $8.
$8 for a round trip to go to Chicago and back. And so I got on the internet and it's like, if Chicago is playing today, or not Chicago, if Hamilton is playing today in Chicago, we're going down. I'm going to stand outside and see if I can get a lottery ticket to get in to see Hamilton.
We were talking to somebody, and it was $8 or something. I don't know if it was one.
It was Jen. It was Jen at the pizza place, and she said for like $30, you can get a weekend pass, and you just do the train everywhere as much as you want.
Right, and then she also said the zoo. Wasn't it the zoo? She took her kids to the zoo.
She takes her kids to the museum and the zoo and all over the place down there.
And it's she gets a family pass, and she says by the time or at the zoo or the whatever, she got the family pass for the year. And how the size of her family is that basically she was paying $20 more for the first visit, and she could take them 2 or 3 times a year, and it's only $30 or whatever to take them up there and back and stuff.
They hop on the train all the time and go into Chicago. And when you go, you're going along, the Great Lake, and you get to see that.
Yeah.
But I was going to share with you, and we didn't bring them in; they're still out in the car. Like I said, we got the little cards that we scratch off for our adventures up in Minnesota. But I've got the 2 other books for Iowa and for Minnesota, but we're going to get one, I think, for Wisconsin area. Not necessarily Wisconsin. There's one I've had my eye on. I'm in the process right now of becoming an affiliate for this company for these travel books. And once I do, we'll be ordering another one. They have one that is nothing but the lighthouses of the Great Lakes. So we're going to get that book, and we'll be able to halfway mark off 2 lighthouses already, because I want to see the inside of them. I want it to be the full experience before I write about it.
So if anybody is to know me, I am not one to do huge crowds, but I want to go. I want to enjoy the music in the parks, and I want to enjoy, walking around and seeing everything that is the city opened up, because the city that opens up through the spring in through summer to fall. It opens up, and so that's what I want to say.
But it was really nice though being there in winter too, when it was quiet.
We had the run,
and we could walk. We had the run of the whole town almost. It was really nice. We did go our first night there when we wanted to get something to eat. We did go across the street to a little pub called Captain Mike's.
It was good.
It was good. It was so neat. They give you little sheets of paper. It's almost like taking a test in school, because the first thing you have to do is put your name on it.
It almost reminds me of going to somewhere like, I don't know why I want to say this, but it's just very primitive as far as you just got a piece of paper with all the.
Yeah, it wasn't fancy. It was very down home. They give you a pencil and this piece of paper, and it's got all the selections of what you want, and you just check this. What do you want for your side? What do you want for your burger? What do you want on your burger? And you just do the whole checklist.
If you want to build your own burger, they have pre-named burgers. But then if you want to build your own burger, they had a black bean that Country Mama got, and then she could put on what she wanted to it. On mine, I picked one that they already had. That was a bacon and
what was it called? Track pants. Because you need to wear your track. You need to wear your track pants, so it's nice and loose when you fill up on it.
It was a burger that had barbecue sauce and bacon on it, just real simple. But then it asks, and then it has another box. How would you want that? Do you want it pink or not pink? In the middle. I mean, they give you those options.
Every option. I got the black bean burger with a grilled pineapple ring, with cheddar, with 2 onion rings, and barbecue sauce, and extra pickles. It was this thick.
Right.
I couldn't get my mouth around it.
We both picked they cut their own potatoes right there and cook them.
So good. The fries were so good there. Rochelle says, use your solar oven. Yeah, we could use our solar oven.
I'm thinking this right here. Where is it? Right there.
I bake cornbread in my cast iron on the barbecue in the summer.
Yeah.
He does a lot of barbecue stuff. I don't think he's done the cornbread.
I've not done cornbread, but I'm going to.
I want to ask Rochelle, what do you put in your cornbread? Do you put brown sugar in your cornbread at all? That's so good.
Do you put cream corn?
Or cream corn? What do you put in your cornbread?
Yeah.
So
it was a great trip.
I do want to say we got new coffee mugs, and everywhere we went, there's one right there.
Okay, because
we got compliments.
Right, and we went back to the same chain of fuel stations.
Yeah, but not every chain sold that coffee.
Right.
But we had regular people. We had customers say, we really like your coffee.
Right.
mugs.
But also we had employees saying they look at it because it's got the name of the coffee on it, the brand of the coffee. And they're looking at like, how did you get a cup like that? Because our store doesn't have those.
But I got to tell you, usually when we take trips, look at these really nice mugs. This is cork and really nicely insulated with a flip top. But you know what I like? If you can see right here, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little indentation where your lip goes, bottom lip.
Yeah.
So you don't drip right there. It has one negative.
Well,
when you're drinking, this hits your nose and it's got a drop of coffee on it. So when you're done drinking, you have a drop of coffee on your nose. Yeah. She says she does a recipe with brown butter, a little sweet, mix of Southern Northern. Nice.
Yeah, because some people, we like brown sugar. Sometimes Country Mom will do a little, what did I say?
Cream corn.
Cream corn. But I love my cornbread with brown sugar. That's back from her grandpa.
My grandpa used to make it that way.
And so, but I'm going to try it in the skillet. And I'm going to try it I have a smoker barbecuer. And I might even just do it. Because I'll cook all year round. It doesn't matter. I'll be out cooking when it's snowing.
I got to tell you one thing I was really surprised about. I don't know why I was so surprised by it, but even you were surprised by it. Lake Michigan is huge. I know it's not as big as Lake Superior.
Huge.
It's like an ocean. And
we kept referring it to as the ocean.
I kept saying the ocean. He goes, you mean the lake?
Yeah.
And there was one point, and I've got a picture that I'll share later. I took a picture of this beautiful tree, and the water was this aqua blue. When we first got there, it was that lake blue.
Yeah.
But then there was this one part where it was almost like a Caribbean blue. And then at the very, very edge, as far as you could see, it had a strip of turquoise.
Yeah.
It was 2 different colors. It was beautiful. And I was really hoping when we woke up in the morning that we would have a clear day with good visibility, because where we were, Chicago is to the south of you. But if you look directly east on a very clear day, you see the buildings, the tall skyscrapers from Chicago out floating over the water. It's something to do with the curvature of the earth and the, what do we call it? The refraction of light. Even though Chicago's not east of Kenosha, when you look east, you see the buildings of Chicago due to the curvature and the way that the light refracts.
Right. But we didn't have a bright day.
Sweet cornbread. Oh, Randy doesn't like creamed corn. Oh, people freak out over it. I don't know if you've seen, Rochelle, what I've kind of rocked Casey's world and Monica's world, but not in a good way. Because here in Iowa, it is really big to eat your chili with a cinnamon roll.
Right.
Now, we have always had chili with cornbread. But then when we moved here, everybody's like, chili with a cinnamon roll.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding.
We were like, that's the grossest thing I've ever heard of. It's delicious.
It's the bomb.
So now, sometimes we have cornbread. Sometimes we have a cinnamon roll with our chili. And Casey was like, it's okay. Casey's mother wouldn't try it. Monica and Eric tried it. And Eric was like, not going to have it. He did not like it. Yep, the cinnamon rolls. Yep.
Yeah. So
they go to Lake Ontario.
Yeah, it looks like the ocean.
The ocean.
It's just when it's a lake, you expect to see the other side.
Yeah.
And when you don't see the other side, to me, it just reaffirms of how great
the Great Lake is.
Well, no, and how great our Earth is, and how the amazement, the things that have been created here is just amazing. So anyway,
with this trip, I'm going to be doing something on the channel here, and I'm not going to say what it is right away, but I am writing another book. I've got more than one book in the works right now, so keep an eye out for the book. And I'm going to have a book that's directly related to trips. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about it. I've already started my portion of completing what this book will do. But Papa Jim and I were discussing this experience to Kenosha, and I've already come up with 3 segments for this project / book component. And it's giving me a whole new spin and thought on these little road trips that we're going to take. So I hope you guys will stay tuned for that, because I'm really proud of it. But we had a great time. I made a little list of things to make sure we discuss.
Our new vehicle doesn't have GPS, but you can link your phone up and it gives you a display of the GPS. We call our GPS Lola from
LOLA Lola.
Yeah. And so Lola took us on some crazy routes. She took us on some crazy routes. And I think it was because to connect the different roads to get to the shortest path, the different highways in the interstate, you had to go through residential areas. It was funny. And to me, it just
way back. Like, you don't know if somebody's been on that road for a week.
Yeah.
And if we were in an accident or a deer ran out in front of us or something, we're going to be sitting there a while before anybody finds us, was my fear. We were way off the beaten path getting to Kenosha, but we had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. The new little car ran great. You got really good fuel mileage.
Yes.
That's the reason why I wanted to get a new vehicle. One is the dependability and the reassurance that if there is a problem, that we've got warranty on it. The other, I'm a new car dealer mechanic, our technician. So I fix our vehicles. I'm not really worried about that. But it was the fuel mileage. Our vehicles that we have here on our homestead, they're not of great fuel mileage. So anyway, we got.
But I think we average 17 miles a gallon.
17
in our
to
cars?
19 are between the two.
What did we get in this one?
And in my old Buick, it'll get about 24 to 25, but it's got huge miles on it. This one here, our best range of fuel mileage was 44 miles to the gallon, and the lowest I think was 37.
Not bad.
So that was pretty good. And
we went all weekend, and you only filled up twice, and we still got gas in the car.
So when I fill up the older vehicles, it was a $60 to $70 bill. And so when I'm filling this thing up, I'd fill it up with like a quarter of a tank left, and it would click off at like 8 gallons, 9 gallons. So that was pretty nice. It'll pay for itself. Just
heated seats, heated steering wheel for those times when we went out when it was cold and we get back in the car.
If anybody wants a neat little vehicle, it's a little Chevy Trailblazer, and it's very economically priced, and it's great fuel mileage. Plenty of little pep for a little 3-cylinder, but it's a little turbocharged. It's, we had a great trip. And
but if you're thinking of going to Kenosha, that was the main point of this post. 3.5 years after the tragedy that they had happen there, don't think of that as being what that town is. The people are beautiful. The town is beautiful. Give it a chance. If you go out on a road trip, we thoroughly enjoyed it. There will be lots more little video blogs, little travel blogs that are going to come out about it. I think we're going to try to do one good trip a month. So if we wake up on a Saturday and we want to pop in the car and maybe drive 2 or 3 counties over and then come home, we might do that here and there. But I think I'm really going to plan with my little cards. Are the little cards in that suitcase? Are they? I'll show them to you another time. They're like little lottery tickets. You scratch them off and it tells you what to do up in Minnesota. And that's where we might find ourselves way up at the Canadian border. We're going to get our passports, so in case we need to cross over, we can.
Yeah, the cards are about that big.
Yeah. I will give you a hint. One of them is for going dog sledding.
Yeah, but old Papa Jim's going to have to shed some pounds.
Papa Jim got to lose about 10 pounds before he can get on the dog sled.
I told him just add another dog.
But we're going to be doing that one. That one will be an overnight trip. I think it'd be really great to go mushing with a dog sled.
I got to say one thing.
There's no snow right now, so we couldn't do it right now anyways.
So Rochelle says that their truck is scary when they fill it up, but it also runs on natural gas. Years ago, when I first started in the automotive industry, my service manager, he was one of a group of people working on the valve that allows natural gas to run on a vehicle.
You know what we did? We drove past this place that had this big museum. We're like, who's this guy? He was the guy who made the first gas-powered tractor. They have a whole, and he's the one, and that introduced John Deere. His first name was John. He did John Deere tractors. Hello, Alfonso. My grandmother was born in Superior. Okay. We're going to have lots of good adventures up there in Minnesota. So we're really looking forward to that.
And so that's, you know.
This is part of the road trips, though, Rochelle, is we didn't know about this person that made these tractors that are now, instead of steam run, they're running on gas.
Gasoline,
and
yeah.
It was his family farm where he was born, and they've got everything about, I think they even had the first gas run tractor. And then you learn about how that company grew and it became our John Deere that we have now.
Right.
I didn't know that person, we stopped off in a teeny tiny little town that had the tiniest little church in Iowa. And they had a plaque for their veterans. And there was one of the gentlemen that was from that tiny little town. I mean, their population's probably less than 200. And he created the modern day hot air balloon and was an aviator. And they had this whole thing for him. And it's amazing the things that you find out about these little roadside stops, these little, take the path less chosen and traveled. Nikola. Tesla.
Tesla.
Yes. Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Do they have, I'm saying this in all honesty, because this is something Jim and I were talking about the other day. Do they have like a monument to his pigeon and stuff? Because the pigeon was a big part of his persona. We were talking about it the other day.
Huh?
Nikola Tesla, his pigeon.
You weren't talking to me.
Okay, maybe I was talking to my friend Debbie. He fell in love with a pigeon.
That was not me.
Okay, then it had to be.
You can see.
He loved his pigeon. He didn't like people so much, but he loved his pigeon. Anyways, so that's it. We've been on here long enough. Papa Jim has to go back to work tomorrow.
Reality hits.
But we had a really great weekend. We're going to have more trips.
Somebody's got to pay for the new car.
Don't make me be feeling guilty. No. Don't make me be feeling guilty. We're going to be doing the travel vlogs. This week, I'm going to start working on my pantry and doing a pantry organization and doing the Three Rivers Homestead Challenge.
I think I'll be working on making me some cornbread and a cast
iron skillet cornbread, Papa Jim says, is what he's going to be working on. We're going to be eating cheese for days.
Cheese for days. Yeah.
Between the cheese we ate, the cheese platters we brought home, and the deep dish Chicago-style pizza, arteries. Our cholesterol numbers are going to be through the roof.
So a lot of people you've never tried it, or they don't like the brown swagger. But I was told I've always cut it up and put it on bread, and I'm weird. I like white American cheese and mayonnaise. Somebody told me about taking it and taking the brown swagger, mixing it with cream cheese and putting it on crackers. And so that's what I'm going to do with this one. This was made right there up in Milwaukee. And so I'm going to try it.
Okay. Now, Rochelle just said she doesn't know about the stuff about Tesla, but she sees the sign on the highway. That was something that we ran into a lot when we were in Kenosha. We met these beautiful people that are proud of their community. They love where they live. They're proud. But then we said, well, have you done this? And they're like, I've lived here my whole life. I've never done that. I've never been on the trolley. I don't know about this. I've never been in that lighthouse. Take the time to go to your local places of interest. I know that when we lived in California, they had the tram above Palm Springs that goes up in the mountains. It took us years before we went on that. Mm-hmm. It's right there.
Right.
Go to it. Go explore and go see the fun things.
Who was it? It was definitely the young lady behind the counter at the motel. And who else was it that said they never rode
It was the guy at the hamburger place.
Right. They have never rode their trolley car. Lived their whole lives. Never rode their trolley car. So do the things that's in your area. I mean,
Now, Rochelle says, I've never been to the CN Tower. What is the CN Tower? She says, I'm not a tourist. You're not a tourist, but you've got interesting stuff right there in your own backyard. You should look into it.
Well, I'm telling you what, if we come up there, you're going to be a tour guide.
You're going to be a tour guide if we come visit. She says her parents like Braunschweiger on crackers or bread with mayo and sliced onion.
I never had a sliced onion.
And she's also saying we need to eat plenty of roughage after having all that cheese.
I was wondering what that. I was looking at saying eating plenty of roughage. What's roughage?
She says, the CN Tower is the world. Oh, was the tallest. Are you talking about the tower in Chicago? Anyways, she says there's no way Randy would pull over. I had to tell Papa Jim something very important. Okay, if you guys saw,
if you don't pull over, I'm going to hit you with a frying pan.
I did not say that. He said, save the frying pan for the cornbread. We went up on a trip last weekend and we saw that big, beautiful tree that was wrapped in 80,000 twinkle lights, those white twinkle lights. I was driving, and I was in the left-hand turn lane to make a left-hand turn at an intersection. And Papa Jim goes, oh, look at that tree. There was this tree done in bright blue lights. It was the whole tree, like 80 foot tall, just glowing blue. I said, I gotta go see that. Now, if Papa Jim was driving, he just would have kept on going. I know this for a fact. I turned around, we went back, took pictures, much to his chagrin, and then we got back on the road. But there are times we're driving, I'm like, oh, look at that mural. And we just keep on driving.
So she schooled me.
I saw a mural in Kenosha that had the wings, the angel wings like they have in Nashville. And I said, oh, there's wings like they have in Nashville. And we just kept on driving. And I thought, well, we're stopping on the way back.
I'm not a very smart man.
But I know how to avoid murals.
No.
And so, but on the way back, Lola took us a different route back. So we didn't pass back past those. But it took us past a mural of Starry, Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. And I said, you got to stop. He says, I'm taking it. You want to stop there? And I had to tell him, look, it's just got to be common knowledge in our relationship. If I see something and I say something, that means I want to stop and do something about it. If we're driving and I say, look at that mural, that means we need to stop for a photo opportunity. It does not mean I'm saying, oh, look at that there it goes. Stop. Take the time. Take the pictures.
You got to say, hey, let's take a picture. Oh, look it.
I mean, if we're going to drive by the world's biggest frying pan, you better stop. If it's the world's largest sculpture of a cow made out of butter, we got to stop. Don't drive by those things.
Accelerate.
He does. I'll be like, oh, historical marker. And we just keep on going. But if we stopped and did everything I want to do, we never would have made it home. We truthfully, all the things we did, we didn't get to go to the dinosaur museum that had a full-size replica of a T-Rex.
Civil War Museum.
We didn't get to go to the Civil War Museum where they had a 360-degree movie to sit in the middle of.
Which would have been cool because if we went on the off season, we wouldn't be fighting crowds. But
we still wanted to go up to Racine, Wisconsin, where home of the Racine Peaches, the women's baseball team from a league of their own. We wanted to go to Milwaukee so we could skip down a sidewalk and go Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hoffenpepper Incorporated because of Laverne and Shirley.
He's usually in a race to get everywhere.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's Jim. It's time to slow down and look at the really cool things.
Hey, so I found out.
What'd you find out?
I would never really have tried this.
What did you try?
Smoked Gouda.
He tried to smoke Gouda. Do you like it? Is it Gouda?
It is. But see, I would never, if I was getting cheese, I would never say smoked Gouda because that's out of your comfort zone. And you only try things that you...
She's saying if I would have had my picture taken with the wings would have caught fire.
Probably so.
Maybe. He'll only pull over for puking. That's what I need to do. Anytime I see a mural, I need to pretend I'm going to puke in that new car. She loves smoked Gouda.
So smoked Gouda is really good?
You like that, huh? We tried a baked brie one time and we didn't care for it. Now, I don't know if it was the cheese or if it was just how it was prepared.
She tries everything. Yeah, I like it. What good is good?
All right.
So I'll have to.
He's going to be
I
nibbling on
gotta
that tray
pace
for a while.
myself though, because I don't know if I have enough roofage around here to
Roofage?
my roofage.
We'll get you some roofage, honey.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. I appreciate you spending your evening with us. I love chit-chatting with everybody. Love you all. Unless it's weird animal parts. Yeah, don't nibble on weird animal parts. That's just
Animal
gross.
parts.
But we'll be
I
putting
like
some
me a
video
good
out.
hoof every now and then.
You like to gnaw on a good hoof every now and then? Good Lord. It's way past his bedtime. He's getting punchy. All right. Well, love you guys. Thank you for joining us, and watch for some travel videos coming out, and we'll be putting out some more things throughout the next weeks coming up. And anytime we take a really good trip like this, we'll do some lives because we've missed you.
So what's real quick, what's our schedule for trips? What do we agree on?
One overnight trip a month.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I might, for the Minnesota thing, I think we might pull in advance to see where we're going.
Right.
The little scratch off ones, it doesn't tell you what it is, but it tells you where it is. So if we pull one for a winter activity and it's just across the Minnesota border, we'll make that a day trip. If it's closer to the Canadian border, we'll plan that as an overnight trip. And we'll do one of those a month. But then if on a Saturday, like he says, if we just feel like we want to hop in the car and go somewhere, we'll do the spinning wheel north, south,
And then,
east,
of
west.
course,
We've got water towers to see. We've got the Freedom Rocks that have been painted to see. It's amazing how Iowa is home to so many first bank robberies like Bonnie and Clyde and Jesse James for a train robbery. We've got things like that to see. Oddities like Iowa's largest frying pan and the largest ball of popcorn. All those fun things. The state's largest strawberry and the state's largest cow. Or he's a bull. And we're going to just go to see all these little fun things.
And then through the winter months, it'll depict on the weather and stuff.
Yeah, the weather will determine whether or not we even get off the farm.
Like going up north, if it's blizzardy conditions and stuff, we won't go, but
we'll just hunker down.
But anyway.
As long as we're together and we have fun, that's what's good. I want to do something in April. It's your 20th anniversary.
Oh, what's the date in April?
Yeah, what is your anniversary date? Ours is in April.
Yeah.
Waiting for the reply.
We could be anniversary twins.
We twinsies. This next April for us, it is going to be our 41st anniversary. 13th. Ours is doubled back.
Ours is the 26th.
Ours is the 26th.
What anniversary is it going to be?
It's going to be our 41st wedding anniversary.
Holy moly.
Oh, wait. Sid's birthday is the 13th.
It's the
Mine's
17th.
the 21st.
Her birthday is the 21st, and we got married 5 days after.
Yeah. We had to wait for the ink to dry on the
Right.
wedding license, the marriage license.
We had to make sure our blood test came back because they didn't want to make sure, because we got married in Arkansas.
That's not why. It used to be everywhere. We got married back in the day where you had to have blood work before you get married. And that was all over. That was not just Arkansas. Make sure I know you're my sister. You're my sister.
Good Lord. It's not sister.
You're my cousin. You're my cousin.
Well, so I was born in Arkansas. We got married in Arkansas, but we have not. I think accumulation of my life, I've only spent like 3 years living in Arkansas.
And that's another trip we want to plan. We want to go back to where we were married because when we lived there, we were so poor we couldn't enjoy the local stuff. Now we'll go back as a tourist.
Right. Things have completely changed, but it's all good.
So you thought it was for STDs. Actually, no, I think it was more to make sure there wasn't going to be some inbred children.
I think
when we got married.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be for STDs too. I don't know. It was, but it was one of those things back then. I guess they don't do it now.
No,
I don't care.
They don't do blood work for stuff like that.
Yeah,
Now,
so I can marry Mike.
I can't take him anywhere. On that note of Jim saying, so I can't marry my cousin, we're going to go.
As long as she doesn't have STDs, we're good to go.
And there goes my monetization. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.
Right.
Love you, friends. Good grief.